Hi, good morning, folks. Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. All right, please sell. 555, it's the way. Now, this is a collection of numbers I've noticed that's used a lot in Thailand. I think it's like a blessing or a good, thing. 555s to you. Yeah. Or 555s to you then. Please yourself. Well, I had a brilliant nap rest. I think I went to bed about 7 o'clock. Did wake up a few times because, again, the body gets into rhythms and all this. But listened to a fantastic whole symphony of Beethoven that the BBC Radio 3 are doing some kind of focus on Beethoven, but this is a live live concert. At the end you captured all the clapping and everything, and it's in Birmingham. And I think there's another one on tonight. Oh, I like Beethoven. Well, yeah, no, it's just because he's a famous artist doesn't mean you definitely. Oh, I do though. Yeah, I like Beethoven. Roll over Beethoven. Yeah. Here. Bankety bank, still a bit of final thing. It's too early, I've tried, but I've got to get on to Nationwide, phone them up, and see if I can sort something out about a PayPal service. There you go, I can say that I use to send money abroad or send money to people, whatever. So it's basically, can I use PayPal with Nationwide? Because this is all new to me. It's not a bank. Yeah. And so there are differences of usages. And if not, I may have to open yet another bank account. But I can transfer money from the Nationwide to it. That isn't a problem. And that's obviously how I have to do it. Obviously, if you open an account, you've got to put some money in, although it will only be using this account for me to send money to Matty and other people through PayPal. There's only two, but I just seem a bit whiz that I was recommended the Nationwide, but the reason was that, admittedly, I didn't go into detail. The reason I wanted to change a bank, again, that didn't solve a problem. I wanted a bank that could probably offer me credit. And the Nationwide was the same response. I mean, obviously, they all use the same system of gauging whether you can have credit. And seeing as I was sequestrated, that's obviously done it. That meant I actually had to once go into bankruptcy. That's what sequestration means. But it's an individual bankruptcy, you follow me? But it's all free. I'll say that it's a good system in Scotland, and it was very thorough. And I'd just been evicted from a caravan in the Findor Foundation, and I reshared that. That was over me giving a tarot card reading to a customer of theirs, a visitor customer, is a couple. And I basically told them that the tarot card reading was clearly saying this community, meaning Findor, wasn't for them. Okay, not very good news, but that's what I was being told. And then it escalated to me being given a month's notice on the caravan. There might have been a few other, well, I'm not aware of them, get it right. There might have been a few other complaints, but I was never made aware why, and I was quite upset. And I suppose that's a mini miracle, although whatever. I don't drink at all. Well, occasionally a beer, but not even that. You know, I live very strictly and simply. And I've just been given this news that I've got a month to leave the caravan. Was very upset. So I know where I knew where to live. If you follow me, all my friends or whatever are in the, that's the logic. All the friends I had were within the park who maybe would have put me up for a bit, but then they would have obviously wanted me to find somewhere else. But okay, I mean, these are things in life. So I had a month to find somewhere else to live, but was very angry. You know, I didn't think it was just that I was being told to leave, right? So I did a number. It's like a little mini protest. I sat outside the Phoenix shop and got a bottle of whiskey. That's the trip. It was an interesting trip, actually, because, right, so I had water, I think, with it as well, so I couldn't have handled whiskey. Ugh. But it appeared I got rather merry, shall we say, right? And then the manager came out and said, oh, you can't, you know, obviously people were complaining, you know, this alcoholic sat on the steps of the Phoenix shop, sacrilege. But there was the spirit was behind it, you see, when I tell you what happened. It was a demo, and I was doing it to push a few buttons or to rock someone's boat. Because, you know, draw attention to myself, you know, what's all this about? And someone would have probably, well, he's just been evicted, you know, whatever. Been naughty boy again, rare. And so the manager came out. This is it. Yes, this is one of the famous remarks that I've made to quite a few people, but it wasn't for him. But it's for certain people watching, right? So you see when I said under my breath to him as well, you know, because we were just looking eye to eye. This isn't for you, you know, quietly under, so he heard it, right? And so he had then said, well, I'm sorry, Grandma, I've got to ask you to stop doing that. See, that's the thing. So the first outburst was, what? This is fucking Scotland, mate. Whiskey's, you can't tell me I can't drink whiskey here. And I think I did again, you know, this is fucking Scotland, right? Which is making a bit of a point, actually, because they sell whiskey in the shop as well, I might add, and all this really expensive 50-year bloody distilled shit that, you know, again, good tourist thing, you know, earn money. But so I did that outburst. Yeah, you can't tell me where I could. This is Scotland. That was the main gist of it. And you're trying to whiskey here. But then again, I said under a best interview, you would. That's my final word. If you wouldn't know Christ if you're staring him in the face. But I'd already shared. This isn't for you. It's for others. You can't see what's happening. There was a Christed one, that's me, amongst them, and he hadn't been acknowledged or recognised. Because that isn't the way you treat a Christed person. You would go and talk to them. And if that's it, it's the same old thing, gossips. If there had been complaints made about it. See, I can't think it was just the tarot, but you could say that tipped the bird. These obviously very posh, rich people who were very upset that I'd said that to them. But it was witnessed by some of the foundation members, because here's the trip. I wasn't accosting them and, you know, would you like a tarot reading? I was asked by Findorn members, would I give this person a tarot reading or couple? And I got a reputation of being very accurate, you see. But this person probably was very, I don't know, very rich and really had their nose put out. But that's me speculating. That probably was true, but there was probably other issues. But the trip I'm saying is I was never confronted with these other issues. It was all jealous. Well, that's the word I'd use. People were jealous of me because I am gifted. and do move in the gifts of the Spirit and do healing miracles. Get it? Oh, I had quite a thing with the therapists there. Oh, we're off now. I offered, and it's all in the papers, we're now going to Newbold House, but these therapists work within Newbold House, but also within the foundation. Get me the therapists, they go get work, right? And they counsel people, right? And they're on that trip. Oh, yeah, they're on a big trip, right? So I announced in the paper that people know this, it's a turning over of direction for Newbold House. Whoever it was, the people that owned it and that had, said, no, I think we need to have a new direction here, rather than it was just open for people who perhaps couldn't afford to pay to go to Vindor and get it, or whatever. Yeah, there was this sort of thing. That was it. You can get a thing in Newbold, and they did open up to people who perhaps wouldn't be able to afford just a thing, because they could do a work in exchange for accommodation, get it, and they had lots of garden. Yeah, that's the sort of trip that's going on there. Of course, this doesn't appeal to your middle classy people who just wanted to book in like a hotel and do this nice trendy workshop. This is different. There were sort of like workshops you can do, but it was very much to do with the land. And working on the land, the gardens and the greenhouses and all the rest of it there. Rare. But someone, whoever it was, or the group, decided, we need to look for a new direction. And I'd made a public statement in the Northern Scot. How did this go? Yeah, 60, they worded it with a media, £60,000 up for grabs sort of thing. But the gist was I got an inheritance of £60,000. My father had indicated that he'd like it to do, well, actually, no, I had made that decision, because father got, that I'd like it to, well, it's like a challenge. I'll put out as it would. Yeah, £60,000. Anybody got any real good ideas of things for the mentally ill? To set up something for the mentally ill. Right? It's a bit complicated, but that's the gist of it, yeah. And so it must have been Newbold House contacted me, right? But I don't think, well, this is the vibe. They didn't want this. Because, there was, my stipulations were, that's it. I'd like to set up what I was running, Shamanic Studios, but within the grounds, like under a teepee or something, because I understood, I wanted it to be a self-contained facility, but a recording studio. And obviously, in my mind, I said, well, obviously we're going to restrict it, we're not going to go on till 3 a.m. No, it'd be limited to a reasonable time, and that the vision would be that just power cables would be put underground to some sort of mobile, because of restrictions, planning permission, or like a yurt, you get me, something that could be heated, because I generally work 1-to-1, let's get that straight. Or a group of musicians could come, but it wasn't a big happening. It was very intimate, and that's it. I'm offering peer support plus a recording facility. So it could have worked, again, if both sides were considerate of each needs, and it would also mean that these people would be coming into a sacred space, if you like, Newbold. They might go on to do something within Newbold, because it would actually fit them. Again, repeat, very open-ended, and if you said to them, well, I haven't got a lot of money, but I can do some work, you could get access to Newbold things, get it? So it was a fairly viable setup. But then when shit comes to fuck, these therapists showed their true colours. And you could say they're being considerate of me, like I'm getting now with the bank, funny enough, that I was being a bit insane to just give them, that's it, my whole inheritance, £60,000, right? Just, it's my, yeah, that's it. No, it's going on there. One of the things I was quoted is, yeah, you've got to put your money where your mouth is. Because I was interviewed, get it? But that meant I was putting my money where my mouth is, meaning I wanted to become a therapist for the mentally ill people. And I was prepared to put my own money, which I've done before. My Shamanic Studios is set up with backdated DLA. Again, my money where my mouth is. I believe the people, mentally ill people within Moray, are getting shit services. And so I set up a service myself. And again, put my money where my mouth, same vibe. But this put all these other people in a bad light. They were therapists, but they certainly, can you imagine? That's what happened. Everyone said, well, all right, are you going to put your money where your mouth is? Oh, yeah, that's what happened, because I'd set the precedent that I'm paying £60,000 simply for the privilege of being allowed to run a therapeutic facility. There you are, I'm waffling, but in a nutshell, that is it. And it is in the Rainbow Bridge. And of course, they went through a lot of ribbling, because these people weren't doing that, far from it. It's the opposite trip. They were using New World to promote themselves. Yeah. So, if I'd have had a recorder, they'd all ganged up and decided, well, we're going to just blow him out, get it? But one person took on the role of blowing me out. And talk about being rude, aggressive. Yeah. He lost his rag. We don't want your money. No, that's it. We are not going to take your money. Very aggressive right now. Oh, right. But I stood it. I was moving in absolute love, and he even broke down. He said, it's useless. He's just love. Because I wasn't going to react to his fucking bullshit. Because that's what it was. But in the end, of course, they'd made that decision. Of course, I couldn't make them let me stay there. And then there was some write-up from that. Well, if he offered me £60,000 to get it, because I'm wanting a bit of space, he could come and do it in my back garden. Because it's basically sort of the trip. But they didn't want it because it really made them look bad. Get it? Because I'd set the precedent, which would, well, here's the trip. You want to do this, you've got to put some money into the pot. Because that's the vibe I was putting out. It's a privilege to serve people and to be able to use this fantastic building. It is a beautiful building, you bought out, Billington Gardens, and it put them on the spot. So the only way you can get out of it is say no on the pretense of we don't want to take his inheritance. We feel it's wrong, which again is 6 of one and 7 the other. Some people might agree that, that's a bit over the top, but it wasn't for me because I was proving the point. That's just what I wanted to do, was run my Shamanic Studios. Because I might add, I did lose my premises to the council. And that was all wrong, right? Yeah. I put thousands of pounds of my money and brought extensive top-notch equipment. And I'm not just talking about recording equipment. I bought a fresh orange juice making machine. So you actually it's like a hopper. Really, expensive bit of kit, but you put oranges in at the top and they just came down this hopper and you saw it. It actually squeeze the oranges fresh. And it's a special sort of mechanism, but it cuts the orange in half and then 2 halves of squash. Oh, it's brilliant, but it was fresh as fresh. You couldn't get fresher orange juice. It was squeezed before your very eyes. And that was for anyone that came into the facility, because orange juice is very good for you, vitamin C. And it's good if you're a bit, they used to treat schizophrenics with just orange juice. but with a community as well. I think it's called Solaria. So it's a unique living in community where the psychiatrists lived in with the patients, get it? So they gave it, that's it, it's their home. But they found it was very effective, and all they used was orange juice. So, because it does really calm you down, get it? And no drugs. Wean people off drugs and just orange juice and the support of the therapist. And people technically were being healed of schizophrenia. So I had this facility which I put together, Shamanic Studios. It became a Scottish recognised charity. And that was just because we just needed 3 of us. Because it was me, really. I was I was doing all the work. I was the sound engineer. I did all the actual therapeutic count, and all the rest of it. But for legalities, it needed a treasurer. And I think just one other person for voting. And that was good because it's just a one-man show. I don't know if that'd be legal for a big thing. Registered to my home address. And yes, we did get some nice add-ons. Although I'd paid for all the equipment myself, the main thing we got, funny enough, or I got, because I filled in all the applications, was a really upgrade to the PA. So I had a reasonable PA. I mean, it wasn't crap. I think it's a Yamaha one. But these were ELECTRO VOICE speakers, the best. And there's a pair of them, and they're over £1,000 each, right? And I might add, checked recently, the price has gone up, because with quality things that happens. Just the higher cost of labour or parts, but they go up. So actually they're nearly £2,000 each. They're the best. And they were incredible, because it was like I had a really good bass setup, although they did bass and everything. Anyone who came to Shamanic Studios, musicians would comment. And I had a digital mixer that had built-in effects. See, it's all contained as one. And digital means that there's no hum and hiss that you get with analog, because that's what you get with it. This is all digital mixer with built-in effects, reverb, echo, pan. Oh yeah, it's all there. And I heard what the punter heard. That's what I had some mix, and it's incredible quality system. Yeah. And bands would come in and have the odd jam session. Wadada, who was with a band called the Sons of Araka, might have got that wrong, but Sons as S-U-N-S, and is a well-reputed alternative band, because what do they call him? He used other countries' music. So for instance, he played a sitar, not your normal instrument for a rock band, but that was what they're into. And they had members all over the world. They would go on a tour, and other Sons of Araka, I can't pronounce it, but would join in. And they're just like you could say a cult band. Yeah, I mean, they had a following, but it was very special. And it was music that you could sort of dance to, but more meditative, because he'd do a Raj, sitar thing, and, and that'd be based around that. But it's jamming as well. So it's very interesting for people who like interesting music, shall we say, not just pop music. But anyway, he gave us a sidetrack, gave us his truck, which, was an old truck, but it's all rigged out for a band. So it had all these wooden shelves, really, or cabinet you could open. So it's perfect for us. When we did a mobile studio, there's quite a bit of gear you got to move about. But we didn't use it that much, I must admit, but that was just supply and demand. But anyway, it's a gesture. I won't go off on that. But in the end, the truck had to bite the dust because the guy said it's going to cost so much to repair it. It's just welding, but well, I say just, and we scrapped it. But that's that. But this thing with Newbold, well, it didn't really end more than that. We just had this very heated meeting where I was just stripped down to fucking as good as called a fucking idiot. You know, got really angry. We don't want you, because I just wasn't really accepting it, and rightly so. But made it very clear, no, we don't want to take your money. And obviously that was quite a surprise, because I went to this big meeting. Oh yes, it's all being discussed, and everyone had agreed in the meeting that Newbold should be used as a facility particularly geared for the mentally ill. Oh yeah, because there's a lot of support for this. The mentally ill in Moray have got shit facilities. But I don't think, get it, they wanted it, get it, yeah, this won't be rich fuckers that are going to pay them 50 quid a fucking hour, get it, all that would be out the fucking window. Oh no, this isn't for people who are milking, although they do work with mentally ill people, but they're mentally ill people with lots of fucking money. And get it, they will willingly pay, get it, 40 quid a week to see some cunt to just humour them. That's how I put them, yeah, just humouring them. Oh yeah, that's okay, see you next week. They weren't healing them. They didn't have empathy, get it? They didn't, as I do. See, that pushes their buttons. I am someone who's had it firsthand. I'm a peer support worker. Different beast, not some jumped up cunt shoveling a load of fucking intellectual bollocks, which if people brought into it, get it, there's your trip. If they believe this is helping them, it would to a degree, but it wouldn't fucking heal them. Get it? And it just become a prop. They go and see their therapist every week and cough up 40 or 50 quid. Well, this wouldn't be applicable to the genuine mentally ill people. I say genuine, probably right, they were probably mentally ill, but that wasn't going to help them. It wasn't empowering them, wasn't releasing them. Whereas something like Shamanic Studios did, because people would come and they do whatever it was. They got a poem they want to record, or poems, their life's work of poems that they've just stored up, and I could put it all onto CD as an example. Musicians obviously could record their own music. Some of them, it's all different levels. Like one guy was a good singer, and he did all the vocals to somebody's choral sort of songs. Oh, you know, I can't bloody think of it. Because he's spending hours. We're just doing one song, but he was doing about 15 different vocal takes, because that's what the song was like. And I think he played a bit of guitar as well, but he got an immense uplift from it because he was being creative. Oh, he shared this, you know, it's really good that I come here. I find this really beneficial. The same with Biff Gladman, recorded maybe about 100 CDs, very creative writer. He wrote all his own material. And okay, it was just piano backing. Well, I say just. He had a synthesizer and he experimented with other voices, which he would have never had contact. He just had a piano. Get it? But this was a Korg, and it had about probably 200 or 300 different voices in it. A very high quality bit of kit. And of course, he then experimented moving into other voices. As a matter of fact, rare. But anyway, that's selling Shamanic. It's a brilliant facility, but it was stopped by the council. Rare. And okay, I could say partly due to jealous fuck pigs that were going to them saying, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, or why can't we have a studio? See, they didn't really go around the circle. They didn't know that I'd used my own money. So they had missed, and maybe the council was supporting that idea. Your social work filth. Oh, yeah. Were implying that they had set up Shamanic Studios when it had fuck all to do with them. Yeah, fuck all, right? And people would come who they had sent. People that came by word of mouth were totally different to the people the council sent. They're generally awkward customers. And this guy had, give me a classic example. He came very demanding. He wanted to do this single to get into this 14-year-old girl's knickers. Oh, yeah. This is a love song to her. He was trying to make out he's a pop star, get it? And thought that would help him get into her knickers, really impressed. Yeah, that's the sort of filth I had to deal with. But it got worse. There was a conflict because he got very demanding. Right, I want to know all the time you've got free, and that. I said, look, I generally just give a person one session a week. It can be 3 hours long, but, to make it fair. So it is open, not some fucking idiot cunt on an ego chip who thinks he's a pop star. But this is where this cunt was coming from. But then it came to a showdown. So I was not being very cooperative and said, no, I'm not prepared to do that. Sorry, and whatever. And then you said, how did it go now? Well, I'm going to report you to Moray Council. But then it got a bit more, and to the effect that I had to put him straight. I said, excuse me, Moray Council's got fuck all to do with this. I own that PA. I own this kid. I owned all the equipment myself. So I put him straight. This isn't Moray Council's facility. They have just provided the building. And they had no input to the vision of it, get it? It's totally my vision. I had the money. What shall I do with this money? And more importantly, is you had a bottom dollar trip. I am a fucking trained sound engineer from the Jesus Fellowship Church. I was their tapes deacon, and I was trained by an ex-BBC technician. And I was well ahead of my time. Get it? When I came out of the church, no cunt round here had a digital studio. I didn't even know what it was about. They're still selling this analog shit in the local music shop. And that's shit compared to digital. Let's get that straight. You have got all these hums and hisses and shit that you've then got to put through filters and fuck knows what else. This is crisp and clear. One take stuff. Once it is set up, the inputs are set up. Of course, if the musician made a bit of a mistake, we'd go back. But in a very short time, we got a perfect recording and it is mixed down perfectly. Developed my own technique. Mainly stereo. So you've got one track for voice and one track for instrument. I could multi-track long, and this is what this cunt wanted. Get it? He wanted to just come in, never think, and play the drums, the guitar, the whole fucking thing. And it is a pain in the arse, quite frankly, because it's not spontaneous and it's not, as I say, pure. In other words, you lay down the drum track, okay, rare, then he's got to put guitar track, rare, and what? And loads of mistakes are made. Because he's never done it before. Well, I had nor I. It's not the way I want to work. So there was that conflict. Yeah, I don't want to do this. It's bollocks. It's like it's false. That's it. You either can play and sing the thing as it is live, but I'll use the enhancement of digital technology. Obviously, put reverb on the voice, get it, and get a really good sound. And obviously, I can't play the guitar for them. But yeah, that sort of shit. Real. Honest, not fucking filth, whatever. But having said that, That may have been going on, but the trip was right. He had been filled with a load of shit by the council. It's their facility. Oh, don't worry, yes, we'll make sure you're all right. And if there's any problems, sort of shit, get back to us, get the trip. Well, there was fucking problems. And I told the cunt to go and fuck himself. And I'm perfectly right. The song he was doing was a love song come thing to an underage girl, get it? And it's clear it's just to get into her knickers. And that wasn't the sort of time, energy I wanted to put in. People who came with a genuine project, it wasn't of that ilk. It was just to make music and not try and be a pop star. Get it? So yes, Moray Council terminated Shamanic Studios, and it is not based, and this can be verified. It was supposedly done under the excuse of cutbacks. Now, a peer support worker is worth 10 of these other cunts that they employed. Get it? They had a technical drawing thing, but he had got no experience of mental health issues, couldn't offer one-to-one counselling support. It's a waste of space. And it was a waste of space because people were being paid to attend. So they had no intention of becoming a technical drawing person, no intention of getting a job, get it? And they openly admitted to me, of course they're doing it because they're getting paid to go, it's something to do. You know, I've done the same fucking course about 5 times, Graham. Again, to bump up the numbers. Now, that isn't a fair assessment. And he's being paid a salary, get it? Right. My service was costing the community fuck all. I didn't get paid a salary and could have. Sound engineer, kiss my cunt ass. The building we had was an ex-DOS house that we, or I, made with help into a really nice facility. That's what the trip was. Suddenly this building's rentable value had gone up. It was a place that people would want to pay and would pay rent for. But when I took it over, it's a shithole. It was a DOS house. And I mean, the walls had been kicked in, graffiti, the floor was even fucked up. Get it? So it had to be what you call re-screeted before they could lay carpet because it was damaged. And all this is done by the goodwill, not Moray Council, get it, but by the goodwill of the local businesses. You know, the carpet man came and literally charged us a pittance. We only had £1,500. Then this community team come in and they really captured the vision. The whole building was painted and the ceiling. Get it? So a lot of work went into it, and it was blue because I'd got this vision. It's blue, a very calming colour. And then even the door was painted like a rainbow. It was a very spiritual, cosmic facility for those that had eyes. And it was like going into a nightclub, which helped relax people. Low lighting, imagine it in a deep blue, the same blue that the Lucis Trust uses. Probably even called indigo, but that, a dark blue, and imagine the ceilings as well. So it created a really nice atmosphere. Then you had a top-notch PA system that local musicians have said, this is fucking mind-blowing. You know, well, yeah, it was put together by a fucking genius, moving in the spirit. Like I said, the ELECTRO VOICE was like the icing on the cake, but it's all perfectly blended through the mixer. So I had 2 systems of speakers, and I treated the ELECTRO VOICE as the tweeters for the voice. Yeah, then you had mid-range, if you follow me, then bass. Stacked. Incredible. And the speakers were bigger than the needs, and that's done. So they're just ticking over. There's no distortion again. You've got a potential system that could have probably had about, I don't know, 15, even 30,000 watt, but it's never used. That's the trip again. Anyone who knows about building a studio, you don't put the speakers to their maximum usage because they then distort. This didn't. Crisp and clear and more than loud enough. Get it? Some people did have what you call monitors as well. And this guy on this tabla cum drum is actually a jug. Brilliant. Oh, the drum kit was digital. Again, way ahead. So there's no miking, again, distortion. It's all direct, and all the drums can be monitored and put effects on themselves. And fantastic quality again. So the drummer could alter all the sounds of the drums and all the fucking shit, and he'd have a monitor. Okay, because it's, it's not an acoustic instrument, it's electrical, but it's perfect. So some guy would sit in with this thing and he'd have a mic, okay, but again, it's mixed. We've got the electric drums. There'd be matey on his sitar, again, a very quiet instrument, but mic'd up, and he would go through a special processor as well, which incidentally was mine, the studio's. It's a little box like this, and it had two sliders, get it? Signal and thing, and loads of different effects and things you could muck about with. And it was over £1,000. That's a lot of money then. But he loved it because it's just not big and obtrusive. You could just be sat on stage and just go, and he could alter it. And it's just two sliders. And so it turned his sitar into something else, which is what he liked. It wasn't just straight sitar. Then we had this lady come in. He could play keyboard as well. He often doubled in as, he'd play the bass, but on the keyboard. Because it's brilliant, Korg keyboard synthesizer, you'd have all the bass sounds you could ever want. And it's like you've got 6 different bass guitars, but they're not. They're on the keyboard. Bop, 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 get it? Oh, yeah, this is some fucking setup. Mind you, I'm going off, but it was. And we nearly made a video of it. And they all wore blue. They got into the whole thing of using the atmosphere of the studio and probably even calling themselves a whole new name. And there's a lady that, I said keyboard and violin. It's an incredible, mix. And her particular, I remember, she came up and said, "That's a fantastic PA you've got there." Not many people do, because the other wrong waffling there. Some cunt come and thought he was King Kong cunt. Get it? Oh, it's just an echo chamber. Yes, get it? It was that and more. But there's a trip, yeah. So powerful was the mixer that you could have echo. Of course, I set it, but it's like, well, if you've ever heard an echo, it was. But they were so good musicians, they could handle it and do it. So they're all playing in time, but some of the things are echoing, like reggae. Yeah, that's your reggae setter. Jung, jung, chi, ching, jung, jung, ding, ding. But they're keeping it together, but the mixer's creating this whole different, echo itself. But this cunt come in, but it was. He was just, didn't know him. He wasn't a local. He probably was some fucking rock star, because Wadada knew musicians of all different ilks. But he was just on a fucking big ego trip. And, it's just an echo chamber. And really took his time to plug in and join in. You get me? Oh, I don't know if I want to play with these cunts. Again, just on a big fucking ego trip. Of course, a cunt like me can suss people like that out. And if he'd have come as an official therapy patient, I'd have told him to fuck off, because he needed to be told that, taken down a few pegs. Get it? But this is just a jam that we had in the evening. Yeah. Why? Because my dad had donated a fucking truck to the charity. Get it? So we weren't abusing the facility, far from it. And we could have propped it. It didn't, I don't know what happened, but it could have evolved till we asked mentally ill people to come in as the audience. Because this is quality music. Yeah? Just do a quick recording and say, oh, yeah, well, there's this band playing and, you know, would you like to come in? It's like an evening out, because it would be. This is professional musicians, get it? And it'd been a free trip for no one to be in the atmosphere. That sort of music was healing. Because my dada, well, I said he had a total empathy to what he said. I would have liked to set something up like this, but I've got commitments and things. But that's it. He was a major support to the facility. He gave us a truck. Musically, he'd often come in. Brilliant guy. He'd just come in and there's a guy there. And I'd say, oh, it's this thing, you know. And he'd give them a brilliant musician, give them a free lesson. So they'd be playing a song and he could play it and show them how to do it better. One-to-one stuff again. No money. It's all free. Yeah, that happened a lot. Yeah. And the person was chuffed as fuck, because I can't play a fucking thing. That's the thing. I don't play an instrument. I sing, but I don't play any instrument at all. And even though they've got all these fantastic digital keyboards that, you know, you could play any instrument you want on these. So you could play it as a piano, but you'd be playing a violin, get me a viola. I mean, this is the incredible technology that was contained within these synthesizers. Korg, they're the best in the world. I'm watching the time. Well, it's just gone that way. It's called 555. Well, this was 555. This was a happy, positive time of Shamanic Studios. And it's an incredible facility. Many people came to it, but Moray Council closed it down on the pretense that we've got cuts. And I would say there's plenty of other things that could have been cut before mine. Yeah. And I could name it, because the technical drawing thing that was kept on, repeat, didn't have a peer support worker, and cost effectiveness as well. They're doing all this numbers game. They're the same cunts coming and doing the same fucking course, and they're being paid. That had been thrown out of any decent whatever panel. Get it? There was a panel of people that had to make a decision such as this. Well, who are we going to cut? Get it? Oh, they kept their little worker as a useless piece of shit, and the effectiveness of it was shit, and the number of people that went to it was shit, because they were the same people coming back and doing the same course. Then we have the other trip. These people were being paid to attend. Mine were. So it's totally not on a level basis. That should have been closed down. This facility, Shamanic, it was a totally unique facility. In America, not so. But you see, here it was unique, and I'm sorry to say it, but some of the service users were shit because we were cunt jealous. That's the only word you could say. And they technically gave the council, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, and why can't we have a studio? Get it? Fucking idiot fucks. Right? Oh, I can name them. because it gets worse. Mr. Harding, when you were entrusted to sell Shamanic Studios equipment, it included 2 ELECTRO VOICE speakers that were initially valued at £1,000 each, but actually have doubled in price. Can you explain to me how, when you handed over the money to Moray Mental Health, which you were entrusted to do to sell off the equipment, they only got 38 quid? Tell that to the fraud squad. I wouldn't be surprised if you still got those speakers. Worth over £2,000 each, ELECTRO VOICE. You're meant to have advertised that equipment. There are rules and guidelines. You can't buy the equipment yourself, because that does obviously open it up to people ripping off the charity or ripping off the people. I wasn't even in the country when this sale took place, but I did hear through the grapevine, because I was travelling and that's what I did, that Moray Mental Health, and this can all be proven, you know, it's years ago, and they said, well, Graham, out in 2 years I've been to them. That's not the point, mate. This is a thieving piece of shit that stole from a charity. Yeah. And he comes all these airs and graces because he's an upper class cunt. Oh, that's about it. Upper class, mummy and daddy had this big house in Forest. Oh, it stunk. I've often visited him there. And admittedly, he's now in a home, sheltered accommodation. So he's up to the police. And this is just going out. Because karma, he's got his karma. But just to put everyone straight, Charles Harding is a thieving piece of cunt shit, and who stole from a mental health charity called Shamanic Studios. Now, let him take me to court. Because as far as I see it, what I'm told, I'm correct. There's no fucking way you can say 38 quid was a fair amount of money for equipment worth nearly £4,000. And then it will easily be shown. Well, where did you sell it? Oh, we put it on eBay. Where? Even if they'd done that, and some snidey cunts had offered to get it, I'd a trip that he did auction it, which you meant to do, and some snidey cunts paid him 38 quid for equipment worth £2,000 plus. Well, they should have refused it. Yeah. Anyway, it's nearly an hour, and I'm it's 7 o'clock in the morning, so in a minute I'll finish this, upload it, and then I'm ready to start the day. I have got all this banking stuff to sort out, but once the bank's open, shouldn't be too much of a problem, and I've got 2 weeks to solve it. It might mean I've just got to obviously open yet another bank account, but I'm sure it can be done. A lot of bank accounts, you don't need to put thousands of pounds in, and I can just transfer money from my current nationwide account into this other account to cover these bills and whatever. Plus the fact I might be getting 750,000 US dollars lottery winning. That's coming to a head. I've got £150 to pay. But it might be a bit of hassle again. You see, I've got to make one more payment, and as possible, I probably can't do it from the nationwide. Again, it's just if I can, well, I don't know, I've got to find out. If I can link up to PayPal or the other way around, link PayPal to this building society nationwide, then I can. But if I can't, it's just a matter I've got to start another bank account. And I've got until the end of March, so I don't need to worry about that. But I'm concerned about my goddaughter in the Philippines. She will want money in about 12 days' time, need it. So I've got to get my skates on a bit, but it isn't. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a phone call away. Because I can either phone up Zoom, which is the service I use, and they can advise me obviously what banks and whether they can function through a building society. But they could certainly recommend what banks, I can go to that are available in Elgin, get it there. Doesn't have to be there. Because I generally bank online, as most people do. So you could, in theory, open it. Well, I did. You can open an account over the phone. That's what I did with Nationwide. We did it all over the phone. Yes, the card's sent to you and your PIN and all the rest. But I was already even set up, I didn't know, internet banking. They'd already sort of opened a place, but I had to have the appropriate code and all that. But it was already been done all over the phone. And, of course, transferring accounts is all done. The only thing I had to do was inform the Department of Work and Pension, who actually do send me my money, and they've been informed well in time. Well, it's already happened now, that my pension would be paid into the Nationwide. So it's actually set. A growing experience. My only gripe I end that maybe going to Nationwide wasn't a good idea. Well, it isn't, because I've still possibly got to find another bank. And it'd been better that I went to this other bank instead of going to Nationwide, because as a building society, there are some limitations. And there was no credit. That's why I asked. The Bible put out is, can you recommend me a bank that I might be able to get a credit card with? Because that was another issue as well, see? So on that note, we're just under the witching hour. Rare. And that's it. We're 3 minutes. Thank you for who joined. It is. No one in England's up at this time. Good God, we're coming up to 7 a.m, especially mentally ill. You're looking at a 10 o'clock sort of thing. But bless them, that's part of it. All the filth drugs they've got to take. I've done something on that quickly. I've advised someone actually this anyway. If you're really pissed off with the filth drugs you've got to take, and you're part of PIPs, although it isn't coming, but supply and demand, you can demand that you get the money or use some of your PIPs to go and see a naturopathic doctor. Perfectly 7-year qualified doctor, but they're private. But all it means is you go and see them, have an appointment, they diagnose whatever, and they prescribe you, again, not filth drugs, but either homeopathic medicine or it could be herbal, whatever. But that's you. You still probably have to say registered to your health centre, because these are private doctors, get it? So they don't have facilities for your files and that. But that's perfectly okay. But that means you're no longer under the clause of the MD system where you're having to take filth drugs. I do know someone recently that was of that ilk. He was very concerned, and he's managed to do it. To stump up some money to see the private doctor. But once you've done that, they haven't got any power over you. Get you naughty boy, you're not taking your drugs, because it's what people do. Just chuck them down the toilet. But this is the correct way to do it. And PIPs, although they're a pile of filth and need an urgent inquiry because people are killing themselves. And I'm not talking about old people. There's an incredible poster been put together, and it's just got pictures of various people that have committed suicide. And sometimes there's even a little bit of a testimony, and that is heart-rendering stuff. Because this PIPs, just like the DLA, are taking advantage of people who have low self-esteem. And that can just be your own run-of-the-mill depressive. That's their constant state. They've really got a low self-esteem about themselves. So when some authoritarian body refuses them, they don't fight. They take it on themselves. Oh, I am just a useless piece of shit. Very sorry. This is their suicide notes. Get it? Very sorry I was a useless piece of shit and couldn't work because of my illness. Sorry you thought I was a lazy, or they say I am a lazy cunt who couldn't keep his garden under control. Sound familiar? The council get on to you because your neighbours, fucking garden isn't spit, spot, spam. And, oh, I've had that. But my thing is not low self-esteem. I've got a fucking blood clot in my leg. So any kind of physical fucking around where you get me tools to fucking do gardening is out. Oh, but I can drive a car because it is just my left leg and I've had it before. An automatic car is right pedal and you've just got that one pedal. It's a piece of piss. It acts as the accelerator, get it? Or the brake, and that's it. It's like driving a fucking thing in the fair because there's only one pedal. No gear changing, get it? And that's the vehicle I'm licensed to drive, an automatic car. Rare. It's not a Jaguar. Rare. They're generally a bit dearer than basic, but I can easily get an automatic car when I get my mobility allowance. Rare. So just throw that in. Well, it's over the hour. I'm going to end. Bye for now.